So here we are today with Thomas out in Sebright Gardens. Pleasure
Ryan.
to come out and enjoy your beautiful gardens out here.
Oh, thanks.
So there's, it's middle end of winter, spring starting to pop up, and we're out in the garden and we're getting ready to divide.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at today?
Well, I thought we'd work on epimedium division today, and we want to get those done really early. This is getting to the end part of the time when you want to divide epimediums, because as you can see down here on this epimedium, you see the new shoots are just coming right here.
Yeah.
And they're very tender, and they break very easily. So a lot of times the blooms come before the foliage. So we want to get this done really early. So the best time actually to do these is December and January. But some of the later varieties that are just coming now, we can still do.
Okay, so you don't want to see generally have any of those shoots.
Correct. You want to do it before it makes it much easier. But we just get underneath the clump and pop it out of the ground like that. And we could leave part of the clump and just take a piece off it, but we're going to dig the whole thing and divide it, and it's pretty easy when you get it up.
Right, you can really start to see where
the roots
are coming apart. And
and you can see now that it's far enough along, you can actually see the shoots coming everywhere. So but just kind of break it where it seems like it's the weak spot. Let it break on its own.
Okay, so it kind of tells you.
Exactly.
Around where it wants to go.
Exactly. Just usually you don't need to use the knife if you can just pull on the bottom of the roots and pull it apart.
Okay.
Like that, and just keep pulling a little bit, and depending on how many plants you want.
Is it possible to get too greedy and go too small?
As long as it's got a shoot on it, it will grow. We could keep going down further on this one here, but they're gotta. Let me see if I can get it. Might have to use the knife just a little bit, but put the knife in at the bottom if you're going to do it, not from the top, because you could cut through some of the.
Okay, but go in and have the little harder root part that's down there that you need.
Yeah, go down underneath like this in the bottom, and then let it come apart where it wants to.
So you just kind of start that cut and then...
Exactly. But this is like a good start. You can see there's lots of shoots on that. See there's a little flower bud coming there already. So that's why we want to do this early, because these things get up and they break very easily, and then you've lost the bloom.
So do you need to do this every year? Or
no. Epimediums are good for a long time. You can leave them in place for years. This is a clumping variety, so it's not a ground cover type, but... no, they can stay in place for a number of years. This is just if you want to make more, share them with your friends. or like we do, propagate them out.
Right. So if you were to take a smaller clump like this and plant this, about how long would it take to kind of rejuvenate itself?
This will go ahead and still and bloom this year. We've actually divided them when they're actually up and starting to flower, and they've still continued to flower. But this probably in about 2 years, maybe 3, it'll be back to the same size again that it was here. So, but yeah, they're
fills in pretty rapidly.
Exactly, actually. No, they're pretty easy to divide.
So now that we have all of our chunks, divided out and separated, we probably need to plant it back in the hole.
Right.
So what do we need to do in order to go back in?
You can see I've got lots of compost in the soil here already, so my soil is very good because I've worked really well with it. But anything you can do to make the soil loose and fluffy and humus rich like that, will be great for the epimediums.
Okay.
And then just fluff up the soil a little bit.
Is there any special fertilizer that they need to use, or transplant?
I don't use any fertilizer, but you definitely could. I don't use fertilizer in the landscape because I use compost, mulch with compost every year.
Like your soil is
the soil is really good. But yes, they respond to most anything. In the containers, we've just fertilized with a well-balanced fertilizer all the time, and you can do the same thing in the landscape, and they respond well to that. But yeah, no, just plant them in. You can do three pieces like that to make a clump, faster clump, and then just barely cover it, and you can completely cover the crown like that and let it come back up through.
You could take the rest of your divisions and either pot them up into a container to share, or
for
put
sure,
it back in the garden.
For sure.
And then what variety of epimedium was
this? This is making waves, and it's a variety that's really known for its foliage, because the foliage is really wavy and ruffled, and that's where it gets its name. But it's really unique.
And these you can find here out at the nursery and online on
definitely. We have this and about 150 other varieties of epimediums for sale.
So there you have it. How to divide your epimediums in the wintertime to proliferate the clumps that you have and share them with others. And you can come out here to Sebright Gardens and buy them out here, or you can purchase them online on your website.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.